Circadian rhythms. What are they? Let's say you were in a dark room, with no windows or way to see what time it is outside. Your body would still wake you up at the same time, make you go to sleep at the same time, and make you hungry at the same time that you would if you were outside. Circadian rhythms are behind this. In short, they are the internal rhythms that dictate our physical, mental, or behavioral changes that we follow throughout the day, almost like a clock. Circadian rhythms help humans to form healthy lifestyles, making sure we can gather enough energy for the day and have enough sleep in order for us to reset our bodies. However, circadian rhythms can be easily disrupted. Every time you stay up late to finish an assignment or skip breakfast and eat until late at night, you mess up your circadian rhythms. If this continues for a sustained amount of time, you may cause irreversible damage. A study conducted by scientists from the University of Michigan Medical School and other institutions found a direct correlation between broken circadian rhythms and depression. They used data gleaned from donated brains of depressed and non-depressed people, and found that the level of gene activity inside their brain cells was different in depressed people. When people die, their brain stops, obviously. This gives them a stopped clock, and by looking at the gene activity, forensic scientists can determine when the person died, day or night. However, in this study, they found that they were able to determine the day and night pattern of gene activity in normal brains. But in depressed brains, these patterns were completely unrecognizable. Their clocks were broken. In a study performed by Landgraf et al., the clock gene, BMAL1, was isolated and blocked in mice. This gene is known to play a large role in circadian rhythms. Mice whose BMAL1 gene was blocked spent less time in the lighted portion of a box, spent more time immobile in a tail suspension test, and showed greater weight gain, as well as other factors. The tail suspension test is a test where feelings of helplessness and acceptance of a bad fate can be measured. These feelings are also related with symptoms of depression. Specifically, there are two major ways that one can mess up their circadian rhythms. Firstly, getting too little sleep or sleeping at irregular hours. Secondly, not eating your first and last bite within 8 to 12 hours. For example, if you first eat at 6 a.m., your last bite should be around 6 p.m., not closer to midnight. By getting too little sleep, you upset your circadian rhythms and enter this cycle of constant grogginess and insomnia. This is further enhanced by certain attributes of the modern world. Humans have a photopigment called melanopsin that is activated by blue light. It's actually a really smart adaptation, because daylight has blue light, and melanopsin, when activated, wakes you up. However, in the modern world now, we have other sources of blue light other than daylight. Phone screens, computer screens, you name it. And a habit most of us have is scrolling through our phones before bed. The blue light from the screens activates the melanopsin and wakes you up, which makes it more difficult to fall asleep and makes your sleep worse than it could be. That's then further enhanced by the fact that humans spend a lot of time indoors now, in offices and classrooms that are dimly lit, which don't activate the melanopsin. Then, because of this backwards process, we circulate between a groggy state and a state of insomnia. Then this causes migraines, irritation, anxiety, and so many other symptoms of depression. Now into my favorite subject, eating. Your body is actually a lot smarter than you think it is. During the morning, your body is ready with gut flora and chemicals to digest food, so that first bite is crucial to starting the day. The body stores the fat from the meal and uses the easy-to-burn carbohydrates to generate enough energy until your next meal. This cycle continues until night, when the body gets low on carbs. During the night, the stored fat is then used to generate energy. However, if you save your last bite until late at night, this cycle doesn't have enough time to fully work, and its ability to function is undermined. There was a study performed on mice by Sachin Panda, where two groups were given the same amount of food every day, but one group was given all day to eat, while the other had to finish their food in 8 to 12 hours. The experiment ran 18 weeks, and all mice had a starting weight of 25 grams. The group with unrestricted eating weighed 47 grams, whereas the restricted group weighed 34 grams. Not only that, but the group with the unrestricted eating had a plethora of health problems like fatty liver, heart disease, or poor sleep. So, what does this mean for humans? Think about how many times you skip breakfast or have a midnight snack. They may seem insignificant, especially when you're a teen with a high metabolism. However, there is a lot going on behind the scenes. A study conducted by scholars at Yongsan University focused on the effects of skipping breakfast, taking 200,000 participants that were sorted into 3 groups, which were decided by how consistently they eat breakfast: seldom, sometimes, and always. The results of the study showed that regardless of the socioeconomic status of the participant, a lack of breakfast was correlated with depression. Why is this? Dietitian Sarah Shanker said hunger pangs are a strong message sent by the body to refuel, and running on empty will cause a stress response. So, what are some steps that we can take to fix our circadian rhythms? It's not like this type of disruption is sustainable. The first step is recognizing the fact that this is something that needs to be fixed. Maybe you never eat breakfast, maybe you find yourself going to bed at 2 a.m. after saying one more episode on Netflix. Let's get into the brain.
Circadian rhythms are influenced by the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or the SCN, which is located in the hypothalamus. The SCN responds to light and darkness. It signals other parts of the brain that produce other hormones or chemicals such as serotonin and melatonin. Serotonin is involved in psychological and body functions. This chemical is involved with the regulation of eating, digesting, helps stabilize mood changes, and influences sleep-wake cycles, all which are part of our body's circadian rhythm. It also influences our susceptibility to hurt ourselves. Low levels of serotonin have been correlated to disrupted circadian rhythms. Therefore, it is important to have an appropriate level of serotonin, both in your brain and body, to maintain a healthy circadian rhythm. Eating foods like nuts, cheese, and red meats can help boost your tryptophan levels. Tryptophan is the amino acid necessary to produce serotonin, but you should know that just because you consume foods rich in tryptophan does not mean that your serotonin levels will increase, which is why you can do other simple things in your daily life to help maintain a serotonin balance, such as exposing yourself to light during the day, but avoiding bright lights as the night approaches, exercising so that you have a healthier mood, and meditating. This will help relieve stress and promote a positive aspect of life, eventually leading to a natural boost of your serotonin levels. Melatonin is another chemical that the SCN influences. This chemical is in charge of making you sleepy. When your eye perceives darkness, a signal is sent to the SCN which tells the pineal gland in your brain to produce melatonin. The production of melatonin increases as it gets darker, which is why, when you use your phone before going to bed, you cannot sleep right away. It is because your brain is receiving light signals, making it so that your melatonin production lowers, therefore altering your sleep-wake cycle. Then, first thing in the morning, when your body is exposed to the light, the SCN signals your body temperature to rise and orders the production of chemicals like cortisol. Here's how it works. When the SCN perceives light, then it sends signals to your adrenal glands, located above the kidneys, and to start producing cortisol. This chemical is best known for powering the fight or flight response. Usually your cortisol levels are low but build up throughout the night and peak in the morning. It then slowly declines throughout the day. Cortisol works with other parts of the brain to control mood, motivation, and fear. Cortisol is like a built-in alarm system that your body has. Throughout the day, as you follow your circadian rhythm, your cortisol levels are affected by stress. When you are under stress, cortisol levels rise to allow you to manage the stress. After the stressful moments, cortisol levels should go back to normal. But if you are under constant stress, by not resting well, not eating, and so on, your adrenal glands keep producing cortisol, causing your body to shut down or alter functions that might get in its way, such as your digestive and immune systems, which could lead to depression or much more serious problems. So basically, Just avoid stressing yourself more than necessary. Put the phone aside and sleep. Netflix can wait. And if you can't sleep, consider limiting caffeinated drinks only for the morning. Also, if you tend to spend time in your bed during the daytime, change that. Reserve your bed for sleeping. Read somewhere else. Worry at a different spot. Think in a better area. When you spend time in your bed during the daytime, you are allowing your brain to relate your bed to other activities other than sleeping. Therefore, when it is time to sleep, your brain relates your bed to the other activities that are not sleeping, making it hard to fall asleep. Maintaining a steady schedule for sleep-wake cycles will help maintain a circadian rhythm. Try waking up around the same time every morning, even on the weekends, because a 20-minute difference can disrupt your circadian rhythm. And last but not least, have a bedtime.